Good afternoon, GM. Good Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. It is just me. I'm a little lonesome right now. um, I don't know where the gang is today, but it is an open panel, so anybody's welcome to come up and chat and talk. I just checked the news and didn't see much. Something about Biden, his campaign against Trump, etc. And the U.S. is building some kind of port in Gaza, like an emergency supply port. Let me look it up. For humanitarian aid, a dock. And so that's really what came up in the news today on a Saturday. What's going on with y'all? Hot. I wish there was something more to tell with me. There really isn't. I'm just doing my thing. I'm doing this every day. I have work stuff, different work gigs that I do throughout the week, and all the TV watching in the Discord, and chatting. We have conversations too. So all of that feels like a full day for me. Every day I wake up without even leaving my bedroom, except to go to the store, which I have to do later today. So that's really all that's going on with me, is like most of what you see on here, and then the stuff that happens outside of this backstage. And as exciting as it might seem, there's not really a lot to tell about it because it's very mundane to me. The motivation for me, like the draw that keeps me going and keeps me doing it, is seeing who's going to show up and what's going to happen that day, like the unpredictability of it. You turn on your internet, your YouTube, and you don't know what you're going to see or what's going to happen. I think if it became too predictable, I might get burn out quicker on doing it after a while. If it had like a regular format each day, that's how church was, Catholic Church. When I was an altar boy, we had to learn the Mass, and it was the same movements, the same, because Catholics have a lot of movements in their ceremonies, like kneel, sit. They have a little kneeler built into their pews, stand, all kind of stuff. And so it was learning what steps to take. Mass was about an hour, so that hour, what you had to be doing at any given moment, and the words you had to be saying, etc., etc. And I liked it as a kid. There was a beauty to it. It was a very small town. That was one of the few things to do in the town that was exciting. Hey, Nancy, good afternoon to you too. And so for me, it was stimulating. I think it was like a positive developmental experience for me, is having gone through that. Same with the Boy Scouts, and they had like ceremonies and rituals too. Our meetings were very structured. But that's different for what I'm doing on here. This is hardly on the aesthetic level of a Catholic Church Mass. And I've been in some men's groups, like as an adult, that were more structured than this, more like the Boy Scouts, I guess. But I didn't get anything out of them. I don't work well with a lot of structure. I never have. I need that creative freedom to follow my impulses. I wasn't raised Catholic, but I ran. Oh Lord, you ran with Antifa in Washington State? That's where you are. Were you one of those people smashing out the windows on May Day? Every May Day? Nancy McMonarch. We're gonna have to start calling you, hey Daniel Barry. Welcome. Good to see you. I forgot what I was talking about actually. I was telling a story about structure and not having too much format on here being one of the strengths and one of the things that keeps me coming back, and hopefully other people. So there's so many streamers out there and content creators and styles that to me there's a little something for everybody, and everyone can find the ones that give them what they want and hang out there. Watch and have never okay, good, because I would watch that. I'd never seen anything like that, because back home, if people are going to gather in the streets, especially on a holiday, it's going to be for a party. It's Mardi Gras or a festival or a parade. So it wasn't until I came up here that I saw people gathering in the streets for like angry non-celebratory reasons, and the emotion's different too. Having a crowd of angry people ready to smash things is completely different than a crowd of people with their beer cups trying to catch beads and watching the parade and vibing with everybody around them. And so that's the crowds I was used to. So I got here and it was May Day, and they was dressed just like you see, Antifa in black, like ninjas, whatever they wear, they cover their face. And you could see them in person if you went down the right streets, but they'd have it on the news all day too. And they would they'd go down this main street and they'd smash out the windows with like baseball bats or something of the like the banks, the big coffee chains, the corporate and capitalistic stuff. They didn't so much do the mom and pop stuff. Although during the Chaz thing, they did one little mom and pop shop because she was married to a cop. And so she got tainted because of that and got vandalized. You dance through a cake on the ground. Oh, like somebody else's cake and you messed it up? That's vandalism. You tore up their cake. And it was Reagan. And they dived into the chapel basement. Yeah. I'm familiar with those days. Not we didn't have Antifa where I was at, like our queer nation or anything. That was more the bigger cities, mostly, and not even all the cities, West Coast cities. Houston might have had, I know they had a queer nation. They might have had Antifa. But where I was, like even in New Orleans, we didn't really have Antifa or any of the extreme activism stuff. And I don't know how much of it is Mardi Gras or festival culture, but again, it would have just been weird to gather in large numbers down there for activism and militancy and anything angry. Like people would have mistaken it for a party and brought beer and music and like. I don't know how angry protest would be received or take off down there because the culture is so different. And I encountered that when I got up here and I saw them in person, like on May Day. I went to when weed got legalized, they had a big march to celebrate. And that was the angriest bunch of people. I got in like 2 or 3 fights during the march with the weed people. And you would think that weed people celebrating the legalization of weed would be pretty mellow, but they were not. They were unorganized. They could not get this protest off the ground. It took us forever to leave the little area. And then they were fighting the whole way because they had different signs, and you were supposed to trade off the signs when one person got tired, another person, or if they needed to take a break or step off. And people were fighting over having to carry other people's signs, and people weren't passing the signs off, and and they were yelling at each other. I'm like, this is weed, people. This is marijuana. This is not a good look for the marijuana coalition. And I eventually had to leave the protest. I got in a fight with one of the organizers because he wouldn't take my sign. I had to go pee. And I just walked off. It was by my house. And so I just left the protest and never came back. But that's kind of a point of the culture here. Even when they're protested and they're all united on an issue, they're interpersonally, they don't. I don't think they know how to do conflict well, and so they avoid it. Like the least little sign of conflict throws them, and then it just escalates from there because they don't have good conflict management skills, like we try to model up on the streets, up in these streets. Anyway, I'm just babbling because I don't have a co-host today. I don't know where he is or anybody else. So, if anybody wants to talk about a topic, just throw it out in the chat, or if y'all want to come on and talk. I know that there were a couple of topics that were suggested to me by some viewers, which I don't currently remember what they were, but one of them was a conspiracy theory involving Survivor, which we've been watching on Discord a lot. So I'll save that one for when that person is here, though. And there was another topic from yesterday that I want to finish addressing that I also forgot. So just throw something out there, I guess. As far as anything coming up, we'll probably watch more. If Chopper Jeff is around, I'd like to start that was Raised by Wolves series, that science fiction series. So anyway, we'll be watching something on the Discord. Oh,
I don't want to finish it.
Who is this? Nancy?
Oh, hi, darling. How are you?
Hi. How are you? I see you in the comments.
Well, first of all, I want to shout out to Chopper Jeff. Jeff who chops wood with his dogs.
Yeah.
Because he told me you should come over to Gen X, Jeff, because there are nice people there. So here I am.
I hope he didn't overpromise. I think were you on the Verbal Combat one night about school?
Maybe I know I've been here before. Sometimes when I can't sleep, I just go on YouTube and look for who's live.
Oh yeah,
and so I've probably been here before. But I know Chopper Jeff comes here and is very fond of your channel, and nobody else is here. So hi.
Hi. Well, I'm glad you're here. What's going on today? What do you have going on?
I just got off the phone with my mom, and I'm so upset because she had the Parkinson's, and she can barely move. She couldn't even move her mouth to say hello. So I'm like, hi, Mom. I know you love me. You don't have to say you love me. I know you do. That kind of thing. But my dad's about to sell their house because he's paying $6,000 a month for her care home, which is actually a bargain if you price 24-hour care homes. So I just got off the phone with Mom, and that's a little disconcerting. But yeah, I did dance through the Reagan cake.
Was it his face? A cake of his face?
No, it was. Hold on just a second. I got to drink some coffee.
Okay.
No, it was a big. It might have been a senatorial thing, and it was in the grass. I remember that because I remember I had cake frosting on my feet, slipping in the grass, running away. It was a great big cake meant to represent Ronald Reagan's financial revolution, and it was right after his people managed to change the whole tax code. So the rich. Yeah, his shitty ass Reaganomics. And so they had a great big cake. And I don't know if they were going to eat it or not, but it was sitting on the ground. And I got word from my friends at Catholic University, Nancy, can you come downtown today and dance through a cake? I'm sure I'll be there. I was 16. But they had just opened the new Carrollton Metro stop.
Was it just you? Like, were you the only one dancing through, or was it a group of you?
No. It was mostly college students from Catholic University. But I had met them through a camping group. We used to gather up disabled people from like Glendale Hospital when that was still open, and take them camping on the weekends to like the beach or the dairy farm. And that's how I met these Catholic college students. So they would call me up and say, "We're doing this protest. Can you get downtown?" And I would, but here's where I drew the line. I'll never forget. It was a Sunday morning, and Daddy and I were up drinking coffee, and Mom wasn't even up. The other kids weren't up, so it was just Daddy and me in the kitchen. And the phone rings, and my girl at Catholic University is saying, "Can you come downtown today? We got some pig blood. We're going to go to the Pentagon and throw it on the door."
Oh my!
And I'm 16, and I said, you know what? I'm not doing that. And she's arguing with me. This, not quite a grown woman. She was probably 20. But Nancy, you're only 16. They're not going to arrest you. And I said, "Girl, it's the Pentagon. They might shoot me. They wouldn't have to ask to arrest me. They're not going to check my eye. It's the Pentagon. I'm not throwing blood on the Pentagon." Meanwhile, I see my father's eyebrows raising over his coffee. And I said, I'm not doing it today. You have a lovely Sunday, but it ain't me. I just, it was
You
not
don't
happening.
sound like healthy instincts to not do it.
Well, I poured my coffee and went back to the table, and here's Daddy. "Who in the hell was that?" I said, "Oh, that was my Catholic University friend." And he said, "Well, goddamn right you're not going down there." I said, "Daddy, that's what I told her." And he just smiled at me so big, like what you just said. Like he was so glad I had better sense than to take the goddamn metro down to throw goat blood on the Pentagon. What? No, hell no, I'm not doing that shit. It was funny because.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, what is what?
No, go ahead. I want to hear the funny part.
Oh, the whole thing was funny. But I'm done.
Yeah,
You had a question?
Well, like having been through that yourself, how do you see January 6th? Like as somebody who got invited to something crazy and had the sense to back out.
January 6th makes me sick. And here is why. So I was born in Washington, D.C. And my daddy used to drive us around. And those monuments and those buildings are more beautiful to me than anything Walt Disney ever built. And yeah, I remember him pulling up in front of the White House saying, "Nancy Jean, that's where President Kennedy lives." And it was like being at church, and I didn't even know what church was. And then, he would pull up and say, "Nancy Jean, that's the Capitol building where the congressmen work and where the senators work." And that Capitol building lit up at night is so gorgeous. So when those bums went into that gorgeous, my Capitol building, my gorgeous, historic marble Capitol building, and broke windows and shit in the water fountains. Bullshit. Fuck them raw. I hope they all wind up in prison. To hell with them just for that. not even about trying to trash the election, not even about
The
scaring all the
vandalism.
congressmen. The vandalism alone. But also, fuck them. Fuck them. That's my thought on January 6th. Fuck them.
Okay.
Since you asked.
Yeah, I think. Well, thank you for sharing. I think there's
I love
very
that
little
building.
ambiguity. Are you
I love that
still an
building.
activist? Like, are you like Antifa? Do you run with Antifa?
I write letters now. I'm 63, and I found out a long time ago. I think I'm allergic to tear gas. It makes my eyes water, makes my
It's
nose
supposed
run.
to.
But I've done my out on the street time.
Mhm.
I really have. But I'm 63 now. I have 2 ruptured discs. I write letters and I vote. And I
Yeah.
encourage other people to vote. And when I was teaching high school, something I emphasized to all my children for 20 years was you gotta vote, babies. You gotta vote. This is your country and you gotta vote. So I do my part to the extent that I can.
What's the most pressing issue right now for you? Like that if you were to write one letter, what issue would it be about?
Well, I'm a Gemini, so I'm going to have 2.
Okay.
And the first one is healthcare.
Mm.
We need a nonprofit national healthcare system in this country. And the second one is this goddamn endless war between Israel and Palestine. And what has to happen, the only way it's going to end is NATO or the United States nations are going to have to install troops in there like we did after World War II in Japan and Germany and teach those people how to play well with their neighbors. Because it's going to go on for another 75 years unless the world community takes charge of that stupid situation. They're fighting over a goddamn sandbox. And here's the thing. If the Western nations don't do it, sooner or later, China or Russia is going to step in. Because that situation is too volatile to keep happening, especially with now all the oil interests off the shore of Gaza. Somebody's going to step in and clean it up, and it better be the United Nations or NATO sooner than later, because otherwise someone else is going to step in and take charge. That's my opinion.
How is
that?
that?
The freak is asking me, do I believe in Jesus Christ? I have a great deal of respect for Jesus Christ and any other young man or any other person who martyrs themselves for the good of others. Do I believe he rose from the dead? No. Do I believe? I do believe his life is a metaphor to teach the rest of us courage and to teach the rest of us to speak truth to power. And I absolutely believe in the Holy Spirit. But that's a whole nother topic.
We were talking about that the other day. What is the Holy Spirit to you?
The Holy Spirit to me is what binds all life together on earth. The Holy Spirit is what speaks to me sometimes in my ear. The Holy Spirit is something I feel and know protects me all the time. But I don't believe that boy rose from the dead. I just don't. So
yeah, I don't either. I don't think
whenever I die and get to where I'm going, I'll find out whether I'm a Christian or not. But do believe and feel and love and worship the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
And maybe that's a subjective experience. But
Yeah,
I
but you
absolutely,
get something out of it, so it makes sense to like as long as you get something out of it, that's
yeah, and
positive
it
for
guides me through the day. Like I wake up in the morning and look up and say, thank you for today. And then, I go out walking and I smile at my neighbors and say hello to my neighbors. And that's what I am called to do.
Well, even that's a small miracle today. So yeah,
I'm
thank you for
walking
that.
around Oakland feeling perfectly safe because I know I am enveloped by the Holy Spirit. So, how's that sound, the freak?
Yeah. Hey, Chris, what's up?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, just
Hi,
chatting.
Chris.
Nancy, you at your house?
I'm at home, yeah. I'm just
Waking up.
I'm just not really awake yet, so I didn't feel like going on camera yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how long we'll go today.
I'm a drop off, fellas, because I got to start vacuuming before it gets hot in here. So you guys have a lovely day, and it's been nice chatting with you.
You too. You do your own vacuuming. Somebody should.
Well, I'm gonna hire a
If I were
maid.
there, I would go help you vacuum. If I were in your city, I would help you vacuum.
Aw, well, I would let you. Aren't you precious?
I hate
Okay.
vacuuming too. I something about the sound of it just like puts me on edge.
I need to get a Roomba, but see, my Roomba would choke to death because I got garbage, not garbage, but papers and stuff all over the floor. My poor little Roomba would have a problem. Thank you, the freak, and thank you for wondering about my mother. Aw, see, my mommy used to say when she could speak, she would say, Nancy Jean, everything happens for a reason. Now I question that. And I also question why, and I have begged on my knees to Jesus to cure my mama's Parkinson's. Guess what? I'm gonna go vacuum. You'll have a lovely weekend. I love you. Have a nice day.
Oh, you too, Nancy. Take care. Good to see you. Oh, that was nice.
It seems like a really nice lady.
Yeah,
He's
that
been
was
on like once before,
it
right?
really was. It was a nice, refreshing chat for a change.
Right. Yeah. She seemed really sweet.
What's up with you?
I guess I was just worn out from yesterday. Yesterday was long and got all of my stuff done, but
Oh, with the car.
yeah, air conditioning working, got the radio fixed. The only thing I have to do now is I have to replace the digitizer on the little the internal what we call the multi-function display that has it has all the controls for like the air conditioning and stuff on it. Like you can still turn it on from the steering wheel, but it needs in order for you to adjust it to turn the heat and stuff on you need to use a touch screen, and the touch screen doesn't work right now. It just needs a new digitizer, and I have to do that now. But other than that, it's all ready to go.
Okay.
It was just it was just a long. I mean, I was out there at the guy that was helping me fix the air conditioning stuff. I was out there at his house till 11:30. And then I couldn't sleep when I got home for a while, so I had no idea it was 2 when I woke up.
Well, it's Saturday today. Not much going on, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I had said earlier, if Jeff's around, we could maybe watch that Raised by Dinosaurs, Wolves, Dinosaur Wolves,
Raised by Wolves. Yeah.
Dinosaur Rabbits, Wolves. Yeah, that one.
I don't know where this came from. I've got this tiny little like baseball bat thing, and I don't know what this thing can
It's like
be.
a souvenir.
I guess so, but this thing is like hard.
Because they used to have those at like Astroworld at Six Flags. Even the like traveling carnivals would sell the little
Like
souvenir bag.
I guess I've watched many action movies lately, but I can't look at this thing and not think this is like a deadly weapon. This could really kill somebody. This thing. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I don't know how you can have that but not yard darts.
You're right. Exactly. Yeah. Like I mean, seriously, this thing it's light, but it's really really solid. It's made of real wood. I mean, like every time I'm just like I'm sitting here playing with it. I'm like, if I'm not careful, I could actually brain somebody with this thing. This thing is hard. I don't know where it came from. It's not even mine. It's just like somebody left it at my house. Oh man, it's been a long week, man. I mean, it's been good. We got a lot of stuff done finally, but it's been crazy this week.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I got to run to the store after this, but other than that, just doing the thing. Frank and I are finishing up one of the Survivors, and that's all I got on my schedule today. If we start that other series,
Right, sure. Which Survivor are you starting with now, or which are you finishing now?
we're on 43. There's
40.
some that Frank hasn't seen any of the newer ones, so we're going through those.
Is 43 the one before the one that's right now? Which one the one's right now? What's the current one?
46 right now, I think, or is it? Yeah, it's 46 right now.
So many of them, I can't keep track. That's a lot of seasons of anything.
It's hard being a super fan.
What?
It's hard being a super fan.
No, I mean, I imagine. I'm just saying, like, there's just so many seasons to like keep track of, like, who was in what season and what happened, man. That's just like it's hard. I mean, like, I like people think I'm like a dork whenever I keep up with like 7 seasons of a TV show. Like it's like fictional characters that they're the same through all the seasons. But man, you can keep up with like all the seasons from the show where the characters like pretty much they're never the same. They never they don't repeat really. Yeah. Occasionally they do, but like you know what I mean. It's like
and there's like 20-something seasons of Big Brother, and those are 3 episodes a week instead of 1. So that's like 3 times as many shows.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a lot of episodes too.
And then they have the Canadian Big Brother, which is my favorite. Canada, nobody does Big Brother better than Canada. Except they pull them all off the network.
Is it because like they're like really mean but still like polite about it or something? Like what makes it so much better?
No, it's actually they have a lot of drama. It's that first of all the house, like the production quality is it makes America look so. It makes the American version look like a game on The Price is Right or something, like some little primitive game. It's like Hollywood, George Lucas lights level production values. Like these challenges that they put them through are like Steven Spielberg level challenges. And the house is just and they change it each year. They have a different theme and all these different things they do at the house. So just that alone, and then the cast is always really good, and you can count on them for a lot of drama.
I heard people say before that the British version was like the best one, but I've never.
The British one is they run it different because I think the audience votes out, not the players, and they use a lot of celebrities. So it's more like a popularity, like who can keep England entertained the most.
I don't know. I remember I tried to watch like Big Brother when it first came out, like the U.S. version of it. And
the U.S. did it that way the very first season. That's why the first season is really actually the second season, but people call it Big Brother 1 because they don't count the actual first season because the audience voted. It wasn't like a game
Right.
thing like it is now. And then they rejiggered it, and the second season was a completely new version.
Well, I just remember I remember like trying. I don't know what season it was. I don't think it was the first season, but I remember trying to watch some of it when it very first came on. Whatever season I was probably was not a good one because I couldn't stand anybody of the characters. I couldn't stand a single person in the house. So I was like, I'm not watching this. Like, I didn't like anybody. I thought they were all awful, but and I don't know. I just didn't see at the time. I wasn't really into reality TV much then. I'm sure there's been better seasons since then. It might have been that first season. I don't know what it was, but I just remember being repelled by the show.
The first season. The first real season, which is technically the second season, is really worth watching, but it's very primitive compared to today. Like it looks almost homemade, but it's foundational for everything else that comes after. Like I'd say the first 2 or 3 seasons are definitely worth watching, but then after that, Canada is the franchise to watch for Big Brother. Like it puts America to shame. It just makes it. I feel so sad watching American Big Brother now because it just looks. You know how like they have the little Mexican fake carnivals that travel around Mexico and they try to like mimic the feeling of being at Six Flags or something, but they're just sad. That's what American Big Brother looks like to me after watching Canada.
Was Big Brother the one that, I mean, maybe they still do this, I don't even know, but like was Big Brother the one that like it used to have like it was like the first one that used like the internet type thing where like it was like at one point did they have it where like the cameras were
maybe because they did a few that was like America's Choice where America could vote on different, they still do that to this day, like America can vote on different rewards for the house guest, or they can vote to make give one of the house guests some extra power this week and stuff like that. So some of the seasons have these little gimmicks where the audience can interact and influence the game.
Yeah,
it varies from season to season how much of that they do.
There was one show I remember like that, like part of the gimmick of it was that even when like the show itself would be cut together from all the footage, but if you went to the website, you could watch the live feeds from the cameras all the time.
Yeah, that was Big Brother. You could pay. Yeah. Now they do it free. I think you can watch them, but you because my roommate signed up for them and he would pay, and you could pay to watch the live feeds, and they were on 24 hours a day. So from your computer, you could see what all the house guests were doing in advance, and you could watch it play out in real time because the episodes were just little summaries of what was happening on the live feeds throughout the week.
Yeah,
that they would edit and package together to make an episode for the viewers that weren't watching the live feeds.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, I mean, who's going to do that? I mean, like, that would be insane to watch the live feed of like that whole house.
My roommate had. I mean, I peeked in on it now. It wasn't. A lot of it wasn't interesting to me because there's a lot of downtime and dead.
Yeah, it's a lot of people just like doing their regular lives,
watching them sleep, watching them sit there and make breakfast, watching them sit, like 2 of them sit at a table and chit chat for hours about nothing. So it's like there's no way to get the highlight moments out of it. You have to really be committed to sit there.
What you really got to be committed to do is to be an editor on that show. Can you imagine? Like, it's one thing when you're doing a show like Survivor and stuff where like they're definitely filming all the time, but mostly they're focusing on like the challenges and the tribal council type thing. But Big Brother, the whole thing is like they have those cameras on 24/7, and those people have to sit there and go through every single second of footage to find the dramatic moments, to find like the moments they want to make a good.
There's whole editing teams. I used to watch, like, that fascinated me. The art.
Oh yeah, no, that's the reason why they call them writers. They're actually they're considered writers because they actually write plot lines post hoc with the video footage. You know, that's the reason. Like, because I always thought it was weird that there's like, why are there writers?
They're telling a story with the raw footage. But Real World used to do that too.
Yeah, Real World.
Back when it came out.
An editor on Real World, and he taught me all about it. He's like, what the show that we put out is like nothing like whatever it is we filmed, and like the
like it starts off.
have no idea what's going to be on the show until they air it. So it's like the whole cast watches the show while everybody else does too.
Yeah, I love it. Like some of the shows do stage some, or they'll reshoot certain scenes. And sometimes I'll even put a disclaimer admitting it. But like a lot of the 24-hour Big Brother footage, you can't fake 24 hours of footage. And then
Yeah.
things like Survivor, I think, are a little hard to fake too, being on the island.
Oh no, I don't think those are fake. That wasn't my point. Sometimes just Big Brother itself. I just can't imagine like it's hard for me to go through like footage from our show trying to find clips, because we put out 2 or 3 hours a day on average. Usually about two and a half.
I wouldn't want to go back and watch this either.
And going back and just going through that much footage to try to find like a few clips here or there. If I was trying to make a reality show just out of our little like podcast, that's like a gargantuan task. That's like more than a full-time job. That's like a lot of time spent going through and trying to figure out how to piece together things and stuff like that. I don't think you could do it with our show, but I'm just saying if I was going to try to do that, right? And I think of like the job of the people that like do the Big Brother type stuff. Like, I mean, I just like, it's like I have like mad respect for that degree of talent of like watching the footage and like figuring out like how to make it make sense narratively, how to I mean, you can't, I mean, I don't think it's fake. It's just like but they have to cut out so much downtime and so much like from all those cameras, and like it's not just one, not like there's just one camera that everyone's in front of. There's like there's like 20 something cameras, or at least 12 of them or something like that.
At least
it's like
they're all over the place. I think it's hundreds.
These are hundreds of them. Yeah, so that's insane. That is so much footage. That means like on any day, you have to like, they must use some kind of AI or something to notify them when things are actually moving on the camera. They must have a way to like cut out all like the dead space and stuff like that, because like, I mean, like, you think there's hundreds of cameras, like there's 100 cameras. That is 2,400 hours of footage to look through for a day. It would take a team of like 100 to just to get started. That's just a lot, bro. I can't even imagine. That's a crazy freaking job right there.
Oh, it'd be boring too.
I mean, I respect editors that can do that kind of thing, that can like sit there and like.
Well, good thing we'll be doing all of ours live, real time editing.
Yeah, there is a Charlie Brooker show that was, I think I mentioned it before, called Dead Set. That was actually kind of funny. It starts out as like a season of Big Brother, but then a zombie invasion happens outside the studio. And it's like all the characters in British Big Brother trying to figure out how to survive through the zombie apocalypse. There's like 6 episodes of it. It's a satire of reality television and of zombie films at the same time. It's pretty good. But I know you don't like much British stuff, so you may not like it. But
what's it called?
It's called Dead Set.
Yeah,
it was like one season. I think it's like 6 episodes in the UK. It's not very much to it. It's more like, it's about like a movie. It's just like a movie. It's basically a zombie movie, but set during a season of British Big Brother. So it's got all the reality show archetypes on it, all the reality show type characters on it, and like most of them are really self-absorbed and concerned about how they're going to look on television, even though the whole world outside is like being devoured by zombies. It's kind of funny. I think they should do like a spin-off of Survivor that'd be like Survivor Horror Island type thing, where like they have to like survive a bunch of fake haunted house stuff, on the island.
Yeah.
Kind of like, they had like the horror drag race thing, you know, like you have like
Yeah.
Dracula thing, and they do like that, but for Survivor, you know, they're on the island, and then but then every time it gets night, they have like kind of like you know, I never played it much, but you know, the game Minecraft, like the way that game works is like in the daytime it's pretty much safe, but at nighttime then like the creepers come out, like you have to like kind of defend your camp from the creepers. It'd be kind of interesting if they did something like that, where like I mean, obviously they can't, not real danger, but like they have to like defend themselves somehow against, like, you know, they have like jump scares and stuff like that. So you can make it through the nights with some sort of like, you know, it's a phony threat, but still I bet a lot of people would take it pretty seriously and like get pretty into it.
That sounds cool.
That would be a fun show. Survivor Zombie Edition.
Well, speaking of, we could end it here.
I guess so. I'm sorry.
It seems like it's ending itself. So.
Oh, I'm just chit chatting about. We're just
Unless you
talking
have
about
another
Survivor.
topic.
Yeah, I guess the weekend people must be busy this weekend. I know I've been busy, so. Yesterday was like 10 minutes, so I'm surprised nobody showed up.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you were out and about yesterday.
I didn't mean to be whenever the stream started, but I ended up never getting home until midnight, so I was gone for much longer than that.
Trying to fix up the car for the kiddo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't want her driving around in an unsafe jalopy.
It's not really a jalopy. It runs really well. I just had some things.
Oh, not our car. I'm saying I don't want her to drive around in an unsafe
vehicle. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Saturdays are weird here. Sometimes are Saturdays. It seems like people just like just pile in here, but some days it's just like nobody shows up.
There's somebody in the chat.
DeFreak is out there, but he hasn't said anything. And yeah, he said
is when you can actually do your own personal stuff. Yes, like
true.
Watch TV.
All right, well, go ahead and sign off, man. You can Frank and go finish your Survivor season.
And we'll be here tomorrow as usual. So.
Yeah, I've got cleaning I have to do anyway. I have a whole like tub of dishes I have to do and all sorts of stuff. So
okay, we'll go do that. This will be personal stuff day.
Yeah.
Okay, Gatito. What is Gatito? Isn't Gato cat, little pussy? Gatito.
Gato is cat.
Yeah.
So Gatito.
So kitten. Gatito would be a little cat.
Oh, he saw the cat on it. He saw the cat.
Oh, Gatito. I get it now. Okay.
No, she is not a kitten. She is a.
She's a demon in cat form.
Fat demon cat. Yeah.
I've heard her.
She's a banshee. You can hear her on screen going.
Yeah, I've never heard a cat scream like this. It screams while we watch movies sometimes.
Yeah, and she's not trying. I mean, she's just talking. She's one of the worst voice. Her sister has like a nice sweet meow. Yeah, like you wouldn't think anything. She just sounds like a nice sweet cat, but she just has like this awful shrill.
I know her meow is broken because it's supposed to trigger the instinct to like nurture a baby, and that would triggers the instinct to run. It
makes you want to kick it through a window, right? I know. Yeah. I almost like whenever I rescued these two cats off of the street, literally because like they were because like they were out. I was living out of a hotel at the time, and they were outside the hotel, and they were like in this little storm drain, and it was snowing, and like we weren't allowed to have pets really in the thing unless you pay extra money. But they came up to me on the sidewalk, and they both like, and they usually ran away from people. They both came up to me and just like sat in front of me and were just like begging, like just like help us. And I mean I couldn't. What could I do? You know, it's like you had these two tiny. They were tiny little fuzz balls. They didn't have their mama or anything.
Cold.
And it was literally starting to snow, and I was like, I can't let you freeze out here. And I picked them up in my arms, and they just jumped in my arms, and they won't let me pick them up now. I can't pick them up for anything. If I pick them up, they freak out. But they both jumped into my arms.
So they played you, it sounds like.
Yeah, they totally played me. They did. And they jumped in my arms, and I took them inside, and I was like, is there any way I can keep these kittens? They're going to die outside. And then at one point I was gonna let somebody, I had a friend that really liked this one, the annoying one, and wanted to adopt it, but like they were so like, they were just like, I think they were the only two kittens probably born in their litter. They were just like twins basically. They couldn't be separated. And even now, if you try to separate them, if there's a door in between them, the other one will stand. They will both stand on either side of the door, like trying to claw and get to the other one. They're very, very, very codependent.
And then we have.
I'm weak.
And then we have
for that.
Thomas.
Okay, well.
Thomas, who I caught at a rock show. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Should have delegated to the woman. I was living. My wife at the time was in Colorado. I was living by myself in a.
He's non-binary. Is what he's trying to say.
I'm the one who loves cats. Even annoying ones.
Well, anyway, I don't know what he's talking about, but anyway, yeah. Go finish up the Survivor.
Surviving's okay.
We'll
be here tomorrow.
I might tune into it and just keep it on the background while I'm doing this cleaning cut stuff. I'll be around.
Okay. All right. Well, look for us there. I'll be hanging out there. And everyone else, take care. Thanks for watching, and join us again tomorrow for some more unpredictability. If it happens, we'll try to make it happen.
Later. Bye.
Take care.